The U.S. Commerce Department delayed a penalty on Huawei for another 90 days, allowing U.S. companies to continue to work with Huawei until November 19th. Now, this comes after the Trump administration delayed tariffs last week on a number of items that include cell phones, some clothing articles, and some toys. Joining us now to talk more about what all of this means and what it means for markets is Department of Agriculture trade advisor and international trade expert Tom Kehoe. It's good to have you here, Tom.
Good morning.
I want to jump into agriculture in a minute, but this delay on Huawei, we keep saying we're going to be tough, 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 and then we delay. What's the message we're sending?
I don't think that we've got it all sorted out on Huawei. We have some rural carriers and rural networks that need the Huawei materials right now, and I think the administration is giving a 90-day time lag there for them to try and find some replacements. I think really that's what it is.
You don't see some kind of silver lining that it's because we're actually getting close to something with the Chinese?
Well, interestingly, I think the president's got his hands full with this one. This is quite the, no pun intended, the tiger by the tail, and that was Navarro's famous book, Crouching Tiger. But China, there's a lot of chess pieces in play here. Look, 2 or 3 weeks ago, nobody was really talking about Hong Kong. Then stunningly, the president's talking about it. The Foreign Office in the UK went to Beijing and said, please treat the people right. There's a lot more at stake here than just Hong Kong as a trading district. I think the world finally realizes now these people have been free.
Well, in addition, let's broaden this out. Let's look at farmers in the United States. Okay. There's been articles over the weekend that talk about the hit, and I'm going to talk soybean and corn, and we're going to talk with farmers a little bit later in the program about this. But these are the two largest
$5 dollars.
Soybean and corn. Corn, globally, what we sell, and we've just lost a huge market.
Well, look, soybean. I was in China a few years ago on the Obama administration with the head of the Soybean Association and some other ag people. By far and away, that's their biggest market, and it's probably the biggest ag commodity that they buy from us. Can they live without us? Yes, but I don't think that they will.
You think they'll come back?
I think, and I've said this before, I think you're going to start to see a mosaic. You're going to see little pieces of this deal start to come together. I think the president is trying to tie it all together in one big package, but it's a big deal to put the whole thing with a bow on it.
But Tom, doesn't it strike you as a little strange that we're getting these revenues from tariffs on the one hand, and then on the other hand, we're sending a lot of those revenues to the farmers who are being hurt by the tariffs? I mean, what's the point here?
Well, look, everyone has known that China's gamed the system for years, and I've said this before, on some other interviews that I've done. Everyone knew that China was a currency manipulator. Of course, the administration came out, and Mnuchin came out and said it, and the president too. And everyone's got their hands up. Oh my God, did you hear what Washington said? We all knew that they control the banking system. They control everything. The state-owned enterprises there are almost 48, 49%. So, look, the Wall Street and the commodities markets, they like stability. They like good news. They don't like instability. So the instability of the constant trade talks has got Germany now saying, gee, maybe we're going to have a recession, and maybe we're going to have to bail out everybody after the recession. I think we're going to China needs us. I think we need them as a place, as our backdoor manufacturing facility. I think you will see some sort of deal. I think, and I've said this before, President Xi's reputation is probably as important and maybe even more important to him as part of his legacy. Look, he doesn't have to face, the crazy election cycle we're in the early part of here for the 2020 presidency. He's changed the rules, and he's really president for as long as he'd like to be.
Tom, Apple continues to be caught in the middle of this trade war. You think it's in their best interest to start pulling up manufacturing from China?
Well, Tim Cook supposedly had dinner with the president the other day, and the president said Tim Cook made a convincing argument saying that Samsung had an unfair advantage to them because they were manufactured in South Korea. Well put. So I don't think that Apple will pull up stake right away.
Do they need to get out in front of it, though?
Well, I think that's why Cook met with the president. I think they're trying to get out in front of it. They're absolutely our biggest tech stock here in the United States, and I think you're going to see something happen.
And very quickly, what do you hear from your sources in Washington that makes you optimistic that we'll see something happen?
I know the ag community. They're very loyal. They're
well, you know the USTR too.
Yes, and the group the committee I'm on, we advise Ambassador Lighthizer. So I think I'm hearing from there that they're very optimistic. They're working feverishly to try and put a deal together. And as I've said before, this president's the only one that has taken China on. That's why Chuck Schumer's supporting it, which is stunning to me. I mean, he hasn't supported anything, but he's supporting this in a press conference.
So I'm going to be optimistic. Let's assume we get the deal. We want you back first.
I'd be happy to come back. Delighted to come back. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.